Hi everybody, I want to make a brief welcome video for our Modern Europe class. So I want to do this by telling you guys a very short story because I want to make this video short and sweet. So first of all, just welcome. I'm glad to have you with me. And what I want to tell you is when I was undergraduate like you guys, and I was in the library at the college I was attending. And I honestly don't remember whether this is for a class or I did this on my own. I think it was for a class. In any case, I'm in the history section of the library, browsing the shelves, and just looking at titles. This is kind of old school. I don't know if you guys have done this before. We do so much stuff online now, which is great. But in any case, I'm just browsing titles. I come across a title, and the title is Darkness at Noon. And that title grabbed me. Darkness at Noon sounded very ominous and mysterious. And what is that? The author happened to be a gentleman named Arthur Koestler. So I was so curious about that book. I pulled it out. I don't remember if I took it back to my dorm room right away or I went and sat down in the library itself and began to read. And I was hooked. That book is about a deeply committed communist working in Russia who has just been arrested. And he's being charged with treason against the revolution. Now, the really puzzling thing is he's a very deeply committed communist, and he has followed the Communist Party line to the T. He's deeply committed to the Communist Revolution. He's loyal to the revolution. He's loyal to Russia, and they're asking him to confess to be anti-revolutionary and working against hostile powers against the revolution. It's a complete lie. And I was like stunned because I was thinking maybe this guy would be kind of against revolution, but no, he's completely committed to the revolution. What's even more amazing is in the book follows a series of interrogators coming to talk to him. And the interrogators, by the way, happen to know, especially the last one, the most important one of the interrogators, they know that the main character, who we're following the book, that he's innocent. They know that he's deeply committed to the Russian Revolution. The Communist Revolution, more so than the Russian, the Communist Revolution, he's deeply committed. He's done nothing wrong. He's completely 100% loyal to the revolution. And yet the last interrogator tells him it's his duty to confess, even though what he's confessing to is a complete lie. And for the person to do it, the main character to do it, he would have to repudiate his entire life and his whole mission because he believes 100% fully in the revolution, to make society better, to make humanity better. And yet they're asking him to pretend and to lie and sign a confession that he's working against the revolution he continues to support even in prison. How do you get this guy to confess? How do you get him to eventually sign a confession? That's the whole story of the book, is they're working to get him to willingly, by the way, they're not torturing him. But the torture happened and threats to your family in the purges of the time period we're talking about, which is the 1930s. These show trials, which Stalin become famous for. They're infamous. And oftentimes the people who are accused, the vast majority of them are innocent of the charges, but that's not the point. And maybe in class we'll get into what is the point. But in this case, an Arthur Koestler's reimagination of the scene, and Arthur Koestler himself being formerly a communist, although he wrote the book, clearly he had left that and is deeply disturbed by what he saw. But the main character, again, is loyal. And how do you get that guy? In this case of the book, they don't torture him, nor do they threaten his family. They simply engage him intellectually to break him down. When I say break him down, again, I'm not talking about primarily like psychological, like sleep deprivation and pressure controls and that kind of stuff. I'm not talking about that. I'm just talking, engaging his mind. How do you get this man engaged mind? And not really necessarily even using like tricks or some kind of mental force or medication. I'm talking, fully present of his mental capabilities. How do you get him at the end of these interrogations to agree with you to sign a confession at the cost of his life because he knows he will die. It's not like theoretically he'll give him a lighter sentence and he pretends, goes along with it. No, no. He's going to die and he knows that, and it's a lie. But he does. At the end of the book, he signs a confession. The book ends with him being shot in the back of the head. In his first person. So he hears the holster being unbuttoned. He hears the pistol being cocked. The last thing he hears is a click and then silence because he's gone. Book ends. I was stunned. The book was... I've never read something like that. Never read something like that. It is deeply insightful and also disturbing, but incredibly engaging on a very specific mindset and the consequences of that mindset. But that true believer mentality that gets the main character at the end of the book to sign his own death warrant knowing it's a lie. And he doesn't even have to, per se. Doesn't have to. They didn't have to have it, but he does. Why? It's deeply insightful into a totalitarian mindset. So, I did promise short and sweet. By the way, you guys can read a little bit of author crossover. There's two pieces in the textbook we're using. You can read him in his own words, and one is from Darkness at Noon. Now, I read the whole book. You guys read about 3 or 4 pages, I think. And you also read when he's in Spain, in the Spanish Civil War. But that insight into this time period and the struggle between communism, fascism, anarchism, other left-wing philosophies, and then the right-wing, fascism in this case, because communism and socialism would be left-wing, right-wing would be fascism. Both of those, on those extremes, the left and the right, both of them have many hallmarks of totalitarian thought systems, which is absolute control of the individual by the state for the good of the state as they define it. And then on the other place, it's going to be liberal democracy and the battle of liberal democracy. And we'll see that most of all through Churchill and through George Orwell, but other people as well too. You guys, we have some fabulous books coming up. It's an incredibly rich intellectual feast that we're getting ready to have. You guys are going to love it. It's profound, and it's as resonant in 2023 as it was in the 1920s, 30s, 40s, 50s, because those core issues of being a human being confronted with crises and thought alternatives, that's not gone away. Totalitarianism seems like has receded, but it's making a resurgence. That temptation, both on the right and the left, both of them believing that R is a moral, just cause in the right way for our group, our in-group. And we're not afraid to use forced, enforced thought. Those impulses from the human heart have not left. They still remain. It's an important topic. I'm going to wrap this up. Welcome to class. We're going to have a fantastic semester. Good to meet you guys. Let's enjoy together.